Why do you want to lose weight? Why did I want to lose weight? That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. When I was 80 pounds overweight, over 210 pounds, I did not think that I was as overweight as I was. The weight had come on over about 4 or 5 years, and it was an experience that really was impactful to me because at the beginning of that time, I was at a normal body weight and I was going to the gym, and then I had a mini stroke, and that really took me off my game in terms of my typical yo-yo dieting. And I stopped yo-yo dieting, and then I just kept gaining the weight. That's how I gained the 80 pounds. So at that point in time, I was actually getting in better health because I was a little bit malnourished. I had been on some yo-yo diets and got malnourished, and then I had my mini stroke, and I was actually malnourished and having autoimmune disease symptoms. So when I started to actually gain some weight and get from the overweight category into the obese category, there was about a year that I actually experienced fairly good health. I wasn't on any meds. I didn't have really any health issues. And then my weight started creeping up and up. And then I did start having health issues. High blood pressure, which I'd never had before, including through my 3 pregnancies. I had diverticulitis and was in the hospital for a while. I had diverticulitis flare-ups probably 5 times after that, even though I should have known better. But it was from eating too much food for me, and specific foods. And so those things I had never experienced before when I was a lower weight. The other thing that was concerning for me was a high resting heart rate. It was over 90 all the time. Laying in bed, it was over 90. Like, it was just always high. And so those things were concerning. I went to a dietitian who was overweight. I went to see my doctor who was overweight, and actually, while I saw him in a 2-year time frame, he kept gaining weight and he was obese. And so I'm listening to their advice and realizing I don't want to be put on more meds, because that's what they wanted to do. You have high blood pressure, go on blood pressure meds. And also I was seeing a cardiologist who was in the obese category, and she said, just go on statins for the rest of your life and take baby aspirin every day for the rest of your life, all of these things. And they weren't solving the problem for me. They weren't actually saying what I knew deep down, which was I hadn't had those problems when I was slimmer. So those were some of the catalysts for me saying why I wanted to lose the weight. Because if you've ever had a diverticulitis flare-up, it's incredibly painful, stomach pain, nonstop for days and days and days. Very, very, very painful. And the high blood pressure is one of the risks for heart disease. My mother had cancer, uterine cancer, at the age of 60. I knew that cancer was in my history, possibly my genetics. And so also cancer, one of the causes of cancer is obesity as well. And so all of these reasons were coming into focus for me to say, I can't let this weight continue to grow, or I can't continue to gain weight and actually have a happy life. My life was deteriorating. My life was not as happy. I was not experiencing as much mobility, as much satisfaction, etc. It was starting to impact me, this obesity. And so I said, enough is enough. And I started researching more and more of how to naturally lose body fat, how to naturally have my resting heart rate go down, how to naturally lower my blood pressure without going on more meds. And so I started to learn about intermittent fasting. I discovered the fasting method program. I've discovered Dr. Jason Fung. I discovered Dr. Robert Siways and several other people online, and started reading, listening to podcasts, and that why, or those many whys in the background, were telling me or reminding me of why I wanted to lose the weight. And those helped propel me forward and ultimately reach my goal. and I went from 210 pounds down to 130 pounds, which I still am at after a year, and I'm excited because I've been able to keep it off. And yes, so there it is. So watch, if you want to watch any more videos, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel, and I try to post quite regularly and sharing my journey and what's worked for me. Comment below if you want to interact with me, and hopefully I can do some videos based on some of your questions. Thanks for watching.